Welcome back to The Ride Show. It's time to take a look at a legendary British sports car. Well, this car is what everybody should have in their garage. Or maybe 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 of them. They're that small you could pack them right in.
Our ride today is the Lotus Elise SC. What a great British automobile. I don't think there's a bad British automobile out there, in fact. This car is lightweight, it's a sports car, it's easy to maintain, and it's a fabulous drive. We're going to take a look inside and out and see if we can find out exactly where the engine's hiding. Brad Tonkin is here to show us the Elise from Lotus. Now, you have a Lotus dealership in which you have lots of fabulous cars, and this is one of them. Now, we're not actually standing at the front of the vehicle, Brad, because the engine it's called mid-platform?
A mid-engine vehicle. This is the Elise SC Supercharged. And it's a mid-engine vehicle, and the reason it's mid-engine is to improve the handling characteristics of the car. You want the heaviest part of the car in the center so that the car rotates around it.
Now, this engine actually different from a turbo, where there's a mechanical draw onto the engine which actually gives it that extra power. It has some incredible characteristics. Although it's a Toyota engine that's a 4-cylinder, it's actually a well, true and tested engine, right? Very
true and tested engine. It's an engine that Toyota have been building for many years. This is Toyota reliability in this car, and it makes the car fun to drive. You can scream in this engine all day long.
Good performance out of it too, that 0 to 60 very fast.
Very fast indeed, 4.4 seconds 0 to 60.
Lotus is so much more than just the speed you can get out of the vehicle. It's a lot about the handling.
Well, yes, and the reason for that is that Lotus targets low weight in a vehicle. This vehicle is under 2,000 pounds. Now, you think about the horsepower, you say, well, 218 horsepower, that may not sound like a lot. But when you're only propelling 2,000 pounds, either straight, braking, or around corners, it's unbelievable how quick and precise this vehicle is. When you think about modern day sports cars, they're bordering on 3,500, 4,000 pounds. So you think about horsepower to weight. 218 horsepower moving about 2,000 pounds is a lot of horsepower.
Now, that makes this car extremely handleable. So a great mid-platform engine here. Let's take a look at the exterior of the new Lotus Elise. So Brad, on the exterior of this Lotus Elise SC, apart from nothing I've ever seen before in a car like this, there's a lot of technology that goes into here. Let's talk about the shapes and the form and function of the car first of all.
These vents are functional up here for the oil cooler, and of course in the rear the air vents for the plenum box.
Now under here there's a couple of pieces of technology that you can get under these panels, but the whole car is constructed very differently than we would see a car in a modern production line, isn't it?
Definitely, a lot differently, because not only is it lightweight, but also to improve the road-going characteristics of the car, the handling of the car, you want a very rigid structure. Even without a top, this car is extremely rigid, more so than just about any car in the world that has an open top. The reason for that is it's built with extruded aluminum that is bonded together and riveted together rather than welded. It makes for a very, very solid chassis.
Lotus have got it right, and they've really used that technology for a while. Now, there's a lot of great styling and technology on the outside. Well, let's jump on the inside, and I know that's not always the easiest thing to do because of some of those body lines and the sills, and we'll find out what it's like to sit in the cockpit. Great. Brad, on the inside of this vehicle, there's not a lot of buttons.
No, it's a pretty sparse vehicle. It's got a heater, air conditioning, stereo, power windows. Apart from that, no creature comforts. This car is all about business.
I know there's a fairly nicely designed dash, and there's actually electric windows and a start button in here. But it really feels like this is something you might actually have on a racetrack.
This car is designed for the racetrack. We talked about lightweight. As a matter of fact, the chassis itself weighs just 150 pounds. This car is it's like driving a go-kart, and it's as much fun as you could possibly have in a car.
Here are some ways to buy the Lotus Elise SC. First of all, this car is extremely reliable. It's not going to cost you a lot in brake pads and maintenance and new tires throughout the year. This vehicle is very exclusive. Under 2,500 of these sold every year on the streets of North America, which means you're going to drive a vehicle which is extremely exclusive around your neighborhood. A go-kart on steroids, as Brad Tonkin likes to put it, and this vehicle is very different from anything else on the street. The big words here, fun, fun, fun to drive.
The 2009 Lotus Elise has a 1.8-litre engine with a 6-speed manual transmission with overdrive.
Base price $47,250. Our in-studio as-tested model, only $54,990. 21 in the city, and your gas will get you 27 on the highway.
Thank you to our sponsors, the Ron Tonkin family of dealerships. Everything that you need to love about buying a car can be done at Tonkin.com. We'll see you next week on The Ride Show, when we may have a little more Maserati and a whole lot more fun.